Awesome. Hello, everyone. My name is Rajat Agarwal, and you may know me through my channel, Childish Famino. I'm talking with a fellow content creator, but a very important family to the FPL community. His name is Matt, and I have known him since lockdown, if I'm not mistaken, through a Telegram community. And I think it's a blessing in disguise for me that finally I'm able to do a collaboration with him. So, hey Matt, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm really good. It's nice to see you. Yes, it's very much an honor to be called a content creator. This is actually the first video I've ever done, and I love the game, and I appreciate you asking me to come on to collaborate. So thank you. Nice to see you.
Thank you for joining me. And you're definitely a content creator because you're starting your journey with me. So, you can only go upwards from here.
Absolutely.
Yes, tell me a little bit about yourself, Matt.
Well, I'm from the U.S. originally, which you might be able to tell from my accent. I've been living in the Brighton and London area for about 9 years, and yes, I've become completely obsessed with FPL. Uh, my partner is from Brighton, and she's been going to matches since she was a little kid, and her dad's been bringing her for a long time. So they brought me into their family and into the Brighton and Hove Albion family, which I feel very, very grateful for.
And why are Brighton called the Seagulls? Like, what's the reason behind that?
Well, if
No.
you are walking in Brighton
Okay.
and you are lucky enough to have some food, and you have the food in your hand, there's a very good chance a seagull will come and steal the food from your hand. I've had it happen many times. They
Okay.
are everywhere in the city, and so I don't know the exact history, but I know that the seagulls terrorize everyone. And you might think, oh yeah, seagulls, really nice bird. No, 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 no.
Yes.
They are vicious, vicious birds, and so they're to be feared. Absolutely.
Hmm. Okay. Speaking about fear, I am very nervous tonight because, as you know, the Merseyside derby will happen tonight,
Mm.
and it will be the last Merseyside derby to be played at Goodison Park. So they will move to a new stadium quickly with the new owners, and the atmosphere will be electric. And this is one of my checklist. Okay, I have to watch a Merseyside derby live, and I have to watch a Liverpool game live, and hopefully I'll be able to do that. But enough about Liverpool, and let me talk to you about FPL. So
Yeah.
yes, so Matt, tell me about your FPL journey. How did you know about this game, and where did you start from, and any favorite moments you have regarding FPL? So yes, any special memories? Yes.
Sure, yeah. Well, there are a lot of good memories and a lot of very sad memories, as you know, in FPL. But I started in 2019. I have always been doing fantasy sports, American sports, for the last 30 years. I've played fantasy baseball and basketball and American football. And some friends of mine that I met in Brighton invited me to join their FBL league in 2019. And I thought, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And it was all very different. And I actually had the most amazing first game week in FPL that you could imagine. I didn't know anything about the game. I got so
Okay.
lucky. It was 2019, and Mo Salah was playing at Norwich on the Friday night. You might remember the match.
I
And
remember the match.
of course. And I'm sure I didn't know anything about the game. I'm sure
Okay.
everyone captained him. Yeah,
Yeah.
like he must have been, 200% EO, whatever.
Yeah.
And I didn't captain him. And the people in my league were like, "Oh, you should have captained Salah." I
Hmm.
captained Raheem Sterling,
Raheem
who got a
Sterling.
hat trick the next day. And
Yes.
I had like Brighton defense. They won 3-0 against Watford. I had triple Brighton defense. Everyone scored. I'm thinking, oh, this game is so easy, like blah blah. And then of course I just tanked and didn't do so very well. But I was obsessed right from the minute I started. In terms
Awesome.
of yeah, in terms of good memories, I had my first top 10K season in 2021-22. That was really
Okay.
fun. And then the next season, I actually finished 540th. in the OR, and it was very obviously a lot of luck, but a good memory from that season is I played my bench boost. I had all 15 players play 2 matches, so I had 30 matches, which is very rare, and a lot of luck, a lot of fun, and yeah, I would say that was the high point.
So you played bench boost in the last game week 38.
No, I believe I don't remember what game week it was 30, 31, somewhere in there, but I
Okay,
had all every single player 2 matches, and they all played both match, and one was Reece James. He actually played 2 matches in a double game week. So how lucky can you get?
exactly. So yes, let me talk to you about my FPL journey. And
Yes.
so I got to know FPL from a friend in who I play cricket with, and I play cricket on a regular basis. But we got to talk about FPL, and we got to talk about football because he is a huge Manchester United fan, and he was talking to me. Okay, why don't you join this game? Okay, I said, okay, what's this game all about? So it said, okay, you just have to join my league and you'll get to know what's it all about. Basically, you just join and then you have a lot of fun. So that was his premise. Join and you'll have a lot of fun. I remember my first season thinking, okay, I will have fun. I will select Liverpool players. I can only select 3 Liverpool players. Oh man, why? I would have selected at least 5 of them. Okay, cool. The first
Yes.
is okay. I didn't know about the rules. I didn't study about, okay, yeah. And the first game week, I selected the most like players you would want. I selected Mo Salah. I
Hmm.
selected the goalkeeper Allison, and
Hmm.
I selected Virgil van Dijk. I'm
Hmm.
talking about I think 2000, the third season of Jurgen Klopp. When
Hmm.
Jurgen Klopp, his third season, when he had signed Mo Salah and Mane was playing with Mo Salah, Roberto Firmino was playing like the feared from three, Salah,
Hmm.
Mane, and Roberto Firmino. And talk about Roberto Firmino, that's why my name is Childish Firmino because
Ah, very nice.
he
Yes.
has been my favorite Liverpool player after Steven Gerrard, who inspired me to become a Liverpool fan.
Mm.
And I remember his goal versus West Ham in an FA Cup final,
Mm.
and in extra time, like one, and and he was limping throughout the extra time. Like I remember, but he still scored two amazing goals, and yeah, took the game to extra time, and then penalty shootout we won because of a keeper. And I
Mm.
thought, okay, I love this team. They play in red, so red is one of my favorite colors, and Steven Gerrard is playing, and he has scored an amazing goal, so I'll follow this team. And since then, I've been constantly following this team, but not regularly. Like
Mm.
lately, I have been doing this because I want to improve my FPL rank and I want to know more about Liverpool. But yes, before lockdown, I had a vision. Okay, but maybe one day I will go to a Liverpool stadium and watch it live. When we
Mm.
finally won the Champions League against, I know how many after setbacks because we have lost 2 Champions League finals. So throughout the tenure of Jurgen Klopp, I have faced a lot of setbacks because I have seen Liverpool losing Champions League finals. I have seen Liverpool losing on the final game week. I have, and there are so many good memories. But when you see the good memory, like we won the title during the COVID season, right?
Mm.
And there was talk of being canceling the whole season because of COVID or okay. But before
Times. Yeah.
COVID, yeah, but before COVID, we were playing excellent. We were on top of the league before COVID. No one talked about that. They just had a reason to talk about this COVID season. So in my mind, I was heartbroken, and I thought, okay, maybe they will null and void the league, maybe they'll cancel the league, maybe no winner will be selected. But finally, COVID was a very difficult time for us, and when I saw the team lifting like the Premier League, I actually
Mm.
had tears in my life, which is very rare for me. I don't cry a lot, but yes, with Liverpool, I'm very emotional.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's a beautiful thing about sports. It can really allow you to access emotions and things that you might not be able to feel. It's a beautiful thing.
Exactly. Speaking of beautiful things, let's talk about FPL.
Yes, let's
So,
do it.
yes. So, how's your season been so far in FPL?
I would say Good on the whole. I was one of the crazy people who started the season without Erling Haaland, and I was getting a lot of criticism from friends and rivals and all of this. And I
I was one
decided,
of those. I was
hey,
one
very
of
nice,
those.
very nice, yeah. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it was a little bit scary, but Salah was keeping us afloat. And yeah, season has started well. I've been inside the top 100K for a while. I guess the beginning was a bit tough without Holland, but then as he kind of fell off, things got better. I was extremely lucky to have captained Brian Mbuemo in game week 9 when Holland was home to
Mm.
Southampton and people were triple captain and all this.
Yes.
And yes, Mbuemo scored a penalty and then he made a cross that went in the goal for a goal, and that was very lucky.
Yes.
But yeah, I've been happy and I've really enjoyed the ability to roll multiple free transfers. I think it's an incredible opportunity in a new rule that has been really helpful. So I've been very patient,
Mm.
and yeah, it's I've been enjoying it. So I think I try not to worry about OR throughout the season because I think it's just the only OR that matters is at the end of the season.
Yes.
Uh, I'm currently 27K, and yeah, feeling comfortable with the team.
Awesome. And so I was one of the people who wanted to start with Haaland, right? From game week
Mm,
one. And I was very excited about this season because number one, we had new rules, like the multiple transfer rule. So that was
mm,
very new. Okay, we could bank those transfers. Okay, we should not waste those transfers. We can bank them and literally change that team. It's like a mini wild card, right? It's
yeah.
definitely like a mini wild card. And I was excited about the different price points being offered to premium players because I knew that this would change the game.
Mm,
So many of us just try to focus on what the content creators or famous content creators are saying and try and
mm,
copy their team, or basically select the same players and let's see will it finish. But I think it's important, and that's why a different lot of different price points helps because there are so many permutations and combinations. You can choose two premiums, three premium players, and it's up to you whether you want Salah, whether you want Haaland, whether you want both of them in the same team, which will compromise the rest of your team definitely. And so I started the season with Haaland, and I didn't have Salah in my team. So I started the season. Okay, I have Haaland. I am safe. So I started with Haaland. I thought, okay, cool. So I brought him in eventually, and till now he has stayed in my team. So I'm very happy that he is returning game week after game week, and hopefully he will sign and renew and stay with us with Liverpool. So, our captain Virgil van Dijk, our vice captain Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Mohamed Salah, the Egyptian king.
yes.
All three of them are in the last year of their contract. They only have like 2-3 months remaining before they can eventually sign with a foreign club or with a UK club. And I don't know what the club is doing. So maybe they have a surprise announcement for us. Maybe they know more than they're letting on. But yes, hopefully at least two of them stays because I know Liverpool don't have the budget or structure, the wage structure to allow three of this awesome players stay at the same time. Speaking
Yeah.
about FPL, my favorite season was where unfortunately I finished second in my mini league. So I remember throughout for I was leading the game week for at least 12 game weeks prior. So on the last game week, I had Salah captain, and my competitor had Mane captain and KDB in his team.
Mm,
And you remember the season where instead of Salah, Mane scored on the last game week. It has happened for so many game weeks because on the last game week we generally have okay, Mane will score because he has a record of scoring a lot of crucial goals on the last game week when he was here for us. And KDB also assisted in the last minute. So basically, in extra time, KDB assisted, which helped him overtake me. So I had a lead of 24 points.
Oh wow.
I had a
The
lead
last
of yes, on the last game week, I thought, okay, comfortable. I will clearly win this mini league. So he overtook me by 2 points, and I still remember whenever we talk, and he was the same player who encouraged me to join FPL, and yeah,
um, he
I'm
said it
still.
would be fun and he broke your heart. So sad.
So yeah, awesome. So we have talked about FPL. We have talked about Brighton. But we are yet to talk about your team.
Hmm.
So, who do you have right now in your game week 24 team, which is still going on?
Yes,
W,
the
yeah,
longest game week. It feels like even longer than a international break.
yeah.
If it's possible to share my screen, I could bring up the team possibly.
Awesome.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. My team is let's just see here. Okay. Can you see my team here?
Yes, I can see your team here.
Okay. So yes, so I have a nice assistant manager going on to give me
Yes.
three Liverpool doublers in Allison. Trent doesn't look like he'll play tonight.
Yes.
Salah captain, and then I have my Everton players or of Njai and oh, you know what? This is for the previous week, so let me just go to points. Actually, yeah, I'm on 92
Yes.
points currently.
Currently,
So I
yeah.
still have, yeah, Mikalenko, Moyes, and enjoy to go for Everton. So yeah, game week's going okay. I was obviously very happy with the Everton result. I was very nervous picking Moyes as assistant manager, I have to say, because I thought it's such a volatile chip, isn't it? I mean, you can score 0 points with the manager, and there was
Yes.
nothing to say that Leicester wouldn't go out and just beat Everton. But that was a great result, and the last minute goal for Njai was very very welcome.
Mhm.
And yeah, pretty happy with the week. I have to say, I made a horrible mistake, the worst mistake I've maybe ever made in FPL, going into this week, where I made transfers on Thursday night because of price changes, and then Friday they announced the double game week 25, and so
Okay.
I had actually sold Rogers on Thursday night, and I bought him back on Friday.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah.
yeah, not good. Wasted a transfer there.
Yes.
Uh, but it is what it is. And so, yeah, looking forward to the match tonight. Obviously, you are very nervous as a Liverpool fan. I don't really know what I'm rooting for, if that makes sense, because I have Moyes, I have a defender from both teams, double,
Yes.
Liverpool, and I have Salah captain. So
Yeah.
uh, it will probably be just somewhere in the middle for me, and maybe Njai gets a goal, and that will be good. Uh, yeah, that's where I'm at for right now.
Thank you so much for that. And let me okay go through my team. So I have Sales in goal. I have Trent Alexander-Arnold. I have Lewis Hall and Gabriel. My captain for the game week was Mo Salah.
Hmm.
So along with him, I have Palmer, Embuemo, and Rogers. And my three forwards are Pedro from Brighton and Chris Wood and Isaac. So I did the same thing. I made transfers on Thursday and I brought in Gakpo.
Okay.
And so I had Gakpo, Mo Salah, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. But I wanted to use my assistant manager chip on slot. So I transferred out Gakpo. I brought in back Wood because he was already originally in my team. But I brought him back,
Hmm.
and yeah, slot
So
has been doing. Yeah,
you and I both made a similar mistake there. And you know
exactly.
what? Pross from the FPL Wire did a similar thing, and he actually took a hit to do it. So you know what? We're in good company. Uh,
I actually took a -4 too. So,
oh no, okay, yeah.
so
You
I
know what?
also took it. Yeah,
Lesson learned. Lesson learned. We just have to learn from it. That's all.
exactly. And on my bench, Fabianski is there, and the player from Bournemouth, Dango.
Mm.
He's playing as a striker, so I brought
Yeah,
in
great
him
pick.
before this game week, and Robinson is still there on the bench, and Munoz is unfortunately on my bench with 11 points. So
Same.
yes,
Yeah, me too.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And the season is going great because Wood is rewarding me. So yeah, Chris Wood, who would have thought that we would speak so highly of Chris Wood in this season, and Nottingham Forest as a team has been revolutionized or revitalized since they hired the coach, right?
Mm.
So the new coach they hired and Nuno Espirito Santo, if I'm not wrong, this is how we say. But yeah,
Yes.
so the manager is working wonders with the team. They are still in the top four. They are in the Champions
Yeah.
League places. Yeah. So
Oh.
five teams will qualify for the Champions League from England this year,
Mm.
and they are still in the places. Manchester City played Real Madrid yesterday,
Mm.
so and they lost 3-2. So I watched some of the highlights because I want to bring some Manchester City players in before I think after before game week 29 or after game week 30. In my
Yep.
long term plans, if I bring in one player, I'll definitely have throughout the like I don't have to bring him in using my wildcard, right? I still
Mm.
have my second wildcard available. I still have triple captain available and bench boost available.
Mm.
What
And
about
free
you?
hits. Do you have free hits as well?
I have free hit as well. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, same for me. Yeah. And I think now, I mean, this is the time of year when planning is so, so important and being able to look ahead. And especially now that we can save transfers like we can, I think it is going to be such an interesting last 14, 15, 13 weeks of the season because everyone will have different chips, everyone will have different plans, and I'm sure there will be some big injuries, so being patient, not using our transfers on a Thursday instead of a Friday will be very important. We've
Yes.
learned that lesson. And yeah, and any move, any transfer that we make now, we really have to think about how it affects each and every week thereafter. And yeah, I think it's a very, very exciting, very interesting time.
And this is always an interesting time to talk about people leaving FPL midway through a
Mm.
season or when they start a season when things don't go according to their plan, they leave the game, they quit and they delete their teams. And what's your take on that? Like,
Well, I feel as though being a sports fan in general and playing FPL can be very difficult emotionally with mental health, how it affects someone's day to day life. And I think that if it's a case of, you know what, this game, I'm not doing so well, it's causing me stress, it's causing me sadness, it's causing me pain, then I think it's very healthy just to leave. I think that's a really good thing.
mm,
I myself, I try to, I've connected with a lot of people in the FPL community, yourself, many people through our Telegram chat. And I think
yes,
it's really important to have people that you can talk to that you they can remind you that, hey, this is supposed to be fun. This is a game. These
yes,
are players, men who make millions and millions of pounds kicking a ball, and we are so worried about if it goes in the net or if it goes on the side or whatever.
mm,
And I think it's really important to remember that we make decisions. We should be working hard and studying and making our right decisions. But once we make those decisions, we cannot control where the ball goes. And so I think it's important for people to keep that in mind, to have friends to talk about, to laugh about it with. And
mm,
yeah, but if it gets to a point where it's too much for them, then it's a very, very healthy, mature thing to step away. I myself, I cannot step away. I have
okay,
to play. I have to try to win. I have to, do all these things. But I know that I have a community that supports me
mm,
and will help me deal with the good times and the bad. And I
mm,
would say just one more thing. It's
yes,
important to remember that you may have friends or people that maybe not even friends that you kind of know that if they are having a bad time, someone's instinct might be to make fun of them or pile on or something. And you have to remember,
Yeah,
people take it very different ways, and it's important for you to remember to maintain that positive, fun attitude and supportive role for people, because you don't know how it affects people day to day.
exactly. And we actually don't know about them, right? So talking about mental health, so
Mm,
I think it's a very important issue that you talked about, because I know for a fact that this game affects us emotionally. This game
absolutely.
affects us. Go through a roller coaster of a ride. Sometimes we get the highest of highs. Sometimes we get the lowest of lows. But you should all remember, it's just a game, and you should only focus on the football which you are watching. You watching football for the love of the game, right? Because
Mm,
you want to watch your team win. Or if you don't support your team, you want to watch how the teams are playing. Maybe to study the tactics, maybe talk about the manager, maybe just to watch, just to enjoy the game. Okay,
mm,
what's this game all about? Who is this player? I've never heard of him. Acha, okay, from how long has he been playing for this club? Okay, then you ask more questions, you get to know the players, you get to know the manager, and you fall in love with the game. But when you eventually fall in love with the game, it's with a clear mind and clear mindset, right? Like a childlike mindset. Why do you
mm,
love chocolate? So a child loves chocolate. I don't know why, but he whenever he sees a chocolate, he wants the chocolate, right? So it's just like that. If you're very emotional about the game, and if you want to quit the game throughout or midway through a season, or if you have a bad game week, it's perfectly up to you. But we as an FPL community, I think it's very important to be there and talk with them whenever they're going through a low phase or a high phase,
mm,
because we should always encourage him to stay loyal to the game or stay loyal to yourself, or you can do both, but it's up to them eventually, and not make like fun of them when they're going through a low phase, because we don't know what they're actually going through, right? It affects them mentally, it affects them emotionally, and so many of us go through so many situations in our life which we don't talk to apart from our friends. No one knows us, right? Apart from our family, no one actually knows us. But yes, this is a topic which I think is great to talk about. S- Speaking about today's game, you already spoke about you have so many players from today's game. Any prediction for today's game? Like, what's your ideal like score line? Because you still have Moyes as AM, and you have Indai, you have Trent, you have Allison. Trent may not start; he may be on the bench. So Salah is your captain. So, yeah.
just gonna turn the light on 1 second. Sorry.
Okay, cool.
All right, there we go.
Yes.
What is the ideal score line? I think probably 15-15 draw, 15 goals for each team. And White and Salah. I think realistically,
Yeah.
I actually don't know what my ideal. It's kind of nice. Like usually,
Hmm.
okay, I want this, but
Yeah.
I don't have Salah triple captain.
Yes.
Um, I want Moyes to win for assistant manager, but I also want Allison to have a good game in goal.
Good game. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so it's kind of nice. I can just watch the match and I can just enjoy it and take in the atmosphere. Uh, my first ever Brighton match that I went to away was at Goodison Park. And so
Okay.
it's a special place for me. Brighton unfortunately lost, but we had a really nice time, and the fans at Everton were really, really great. And Liverpool is a great city in general. I know you're going to visit at some point.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll just take in the atmosphere and you know, I guess just enjoy the match. I know for you, you will want Liverpool victory, uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I cannot say I want either team to win because you know I just want good football. Nobody gets hurt. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah, and go from there. For you, what would be the best result?
So you talked about nobody gets hurt, right? So that would be the most perfect scenario, that no injuries, because in a derby, especially in a Merseyside derby, we know tackles will be flying around. We know challenges will be made. It will be feisty. It will be fair. The game will be climatic. And
Mm,
I don't know what the scoreline could be because this is the last Merseyside derby at Goodison Park. The fans will be up for it. The players are definitely up for it because of the appointment of David Moyes.
mm.
And they want to challenge the best team in the world, right? Because right now we are the number one league in Premier League, but also in Champions League we finished in the league table number one. We only had we had a great start to the season. We are already in the Carabao Cup final. We lost the FA Cup and we are out of that competition. So yes, I'm very thankful that we are out of that competition. I'll tell you the main reason because I'm not worried about the fixtures. I'm not worried about so many fixtures to be played.
Yeah,
I'm thankful that the players will get some rest, and we have 5 games in 15 days right now. So right now it's a very tough schedule for us. Like after Everton, it's a very tough schedule, but hopefully I can enjoy the game because whenever I watch this derby or whenever I watch a Manchester United fan, I'm always nervous. I'm excited, but more nervous than excited. And it's the same with Real Madrid. Whenever we play Real Madrid, I'm always nervous. So yeah,
of course, yes. The nerves for a derby are unlike anything else, and people might poke fun at the Brighton Crystal Palace rivalry, but it is a real rivalry. And unfortunately, I was at the last Brighton Crystal Palace match just a few weeks ago, and
mm,
Palace beat us 3-1, and it was really horrible. It was really really horrible. So yes, I hope that. Yeah, I hope that there aren't too many tears tonight of sadness, tears of joy, tears of joy.
awesome. So talking about Brighton, so do you want to suggest any players from Brighton, FPL wise?
Yeah, for FPL, it's difficult. I have been very, very high on João Pedro as a pick. I think, his initial price of 5.5, the fact that he was on penalties, he's an incredibly talented player. Uh, at 5.5 million, I think people forget that you don't need to score every week. You don't need to be putting in, braces and hat tricks. It's just kind of
Yes.
ticking along every 4 or 5 games. However, he obviously came off at halftime against Nottingham Forest, and then he didn't start our FA Cup match at home to Chelsea when we
Okay.
kind of we started our best 11 really, and Jorginho Ruder, who is such an amazing player, I love him so much. Not for FPL, but just in general,
Mm,
he played really really well with Welbeck in kind of they play like a 9-10 together,
okay.
and so just a little bit wary of João Pedro's minutes, but I don't think you need to sell him. I don't think we have a nice fixture at Southampton coming up in 2 weeks. Um, he's really the only player I could recommend from Brighton right
Okay.
now. I wouldn't recommend to buy him because it's just not the right time and we don't have doubles or anything. And our
Yes.
week 29 fixture is away to City, which is not a good fixture, obviously, or yeah, so he doesn't help in the blank, but I wouldn't be in a rush to sell him if you have him. I think some people are really nervous and they want to sell him because he's came up at halftime. I would say he's a hold and
Okay.
focus transfers elsewhere.
Okay. So awesome. Thanks to for that valuable information. I already have João Pedro in my team, and
Mm,
I'm still keeping the faith with him, as you said. Value, he provides amazing value at that, and he's on penalties too, which is a very great added bonus. And yeah, hopefully he'll stay with Brighton because he's a striker who is amazing at what he does, like the interlink play or the way he is ferocious with his pace, not with his tackles. But I generally know that he wants to win the game. Like his body language shows that. Like he wants to win the game. He wants to win it for his team. And
mm.
yeah,
Well,
uh,
I think for Hertzler, for our manager, the most important thing if you're playing in the front three or four is out of possession.
Mm.
to work in position to press, kind of like the old Klopp teams did. We don't do it
Yes.
anywhere near that intensely, but
Yeah.
he's proven a lot in that area. That under De Zerbi, it took him a few matches to get that into his game, but De Zerbi really instilled that in him. And yeah, he's quite good at it. And also, Jorginho is wonderful at it as well. So I think Welbeck hasn't been so great since he's come back from injury. I think that João Pedro long term will be his minutes will be just fine. I think.
Okay. I have some stats I could share with you. Okay. So this is from statsfpl.com, and the main stat is shots, right? So shots per 90. And who is number one? Any guess for you?
Shots per 90 with a minimum number of minutes, maybe Anton Semenyo.
He is second. So the first
Second.
is, yeah, very good guess. So shots per
Yeah.
90 is second. First is Haaland. So
Okay.
he
Okay. That
takes a
makes
lot of
sense. Yeah.
shots. And yeah, third is Salah. So the top three
Mm.
are Haaland, Semenyo, and Salah. After them, it's Cole Palmer, Cunha from Wolves,
Hmm.
Eze from yeah, Crystal Palace, Madueke from Chelsea, Isak
Hmm.
from Newcastle, Bruno with from Manchester United, and finally your favorite player, Nicholas Jackson. So, I said your favorite player because when Jackson and Nunes arrived at the same time, I had a thing with Matt, like, okay, who will finish first out of them? And something along the line of that, okay, Nunes or Jackson. And we had to name three strikers who will finish above Jackson. If correct me
Above
if I'm
Nunes.
above
Yes.
Nunes, above Nunes. And yeah, so yes,
Well,
Nun, yeah,
I have to say, I am. I know we could probably get into this in later
yeah,
talks, but I'm a very big analytics FC person, if you will.
yes,
So players that rack up the XG, and get a lot of chances, I always think that is a better predictor of future performance than
mm,
people who score goals like Chris Wood. I'm
mm,
happy for you. I'm happy for everyone that has him, but he can't keep doing this. He can't keep getting away with it. He just, yeah, he overperforms so well. And there's always players like this. So yes, but with Nicholas Jackson, I never seem to own him when he scores goals. I only have him when
yes.
he's blanking. Yeah, I haven't had him this year at all. He's been doing really well, but I know the last few weeks he hasn't been.
Yes. So I
Yeah.
had him through a period where he was scoring a lot of goals. So
Mm,
fortunately, I had him in my team. I picked him. I didn't have Cole Palmer, so I thought I need a Chelsea attacker, right? Why not pick Jackson? He is fit and he will start the game because I knew that Nkuku won't start.
mm.
So I thought, okay, let's take a gamble on Jackson. And thankfully, that gamble paid for at least 5 to 7 game weeks. So I had him
Yeah,
for
he's
eight,
playing pretty
nine.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had him for like 8 to 9 game weeks,
nice.
and yeah. So speaking about stats, so the number one stat is the goals and assists, right? The top player right now is per 90. It's not
Mm.
Mohamed Salah. It's the
Mm.
name of Romain Esse, the new player who has arrived from Crystal
Okay.
Palace.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
best player in
because
the world, clearly the best
he has only played a game, but yeah,
player.
it's Salah. Then third is Danny Ings, surprisingly, with
Mm.
1.36. Fourth is Javi Elliott, very surprising. So fifth is Diogo Jota. Okay, again a very surprising member. Sixth is Saka. Seventh is Isaac. Then James McAtee, Bobby Dogibo Reed, and then finally a player who has left Aston Villa, John Duran.
Mm.
And talking about a player who has left Aston Villa. Aston Villa have a double game week, and along with Aston Villa, Liverpool too have a double game week.
Mm.
And so, any assets from Aston Villa would you suggest apart from Rogers? Oh,
Yeah, so I think Rogers is clearly the best in terms of price and security of minutes. I'm going to have a difficult decision because I will be very tempted to sell Isak for Watkins, but I think it's difficult if we don't get a clear update on his health and feel confident that he can start both. I think for me, where I'm leaning right now is to save that transfer, to not use that transfer, and to be able to have that to maybe save my free hit in 29. If people did want to get another Villa asset outside of Watkins and Rogers, I think Emi Martinez is really the only pick. Maybe if you
Yes.
had Pickford for the double game week, for example, and you wanted to go to Martinez, the only thing there is that Villa won't be playing in 29. So if you
Yeah.
have a keeper that can play in 29 and you want to save your free hits, or if you're planning on playing free hit in 29 and then maybe wild card 30, 31, 32 before
Mhm.
double game week 33, I think that's fine. But yeah, Watkins, if we get an update on the health, is very tempting. And then he can also, that's a nice price point as well. You know, you can move you can go back to Isak eventually in 30
Mhm.
31. You can go to Jackson. He has a nice couple fixtures in 28 or 27 and 28, I believe,
Yeah.
and plays in 29, right?
He plays in my 29 now. Yeah.
Yeah, Mateta is a great pick if you're playing free hit in 29. Have some nice fixtures before and
Mhm.
after 29. And so it's a nice place, but Isak is playing so well, right? I mean, it's
Mhm.
difficult to think to sell. So yeah, Rogers number one, Watkins if healthy, and if you need a third, Emi Martinez.
Okay. Thanks for that. And for people who don't have Emery as an assistant manager, would you say like you can give it to Emery if you suppose you already have David Moyes and you can go to Emery, or you have Slot, or you have any other no, not Slot. If you have so if you have David Moyes or any other assistant manager
Yeah.
activated,
So,
so would you switch to Emery? So yeah.
so I think yeah. So the plan always was the reason we active if so many people activated assistant manager was the only time we'll have double game weeks back to back, right? And
Yes.
so if you have slot, like you say, no reason to change, that's perfect. You probably want to use a transfer in game week 26 to change, but that's personal preference. The plan for me was always to change to Emery or Silva, whoever got the double game week between
Yes.
them. But the only thing that might change this is if Trent Alexander Arnold is ruled out, even just for one game of Wolves. I may
Okay.
be tempted to sell Trent to another defender and then get Slot as the assistant manager there. But maybe you could have more information about Trent and his availability for game week 25.
Yes. So with the presser with what Slot said. So yeah,
Mm,
Slot. So yeah, with the presser
yeah,
with Slot said is like he will not start tonight. That's for
mm,
sure. He may be on the bench because he was involved in some individual training program. He was not involved fully with the team. He has trained individually. So likely he will start on the bench. And most I know for a fact that, in my opinion, he will start on the bench. Conor Bradley, who has been doing good whenever he has whenever he has been given opportunities in Premier League or other cup competitions, he has been doing good. And
mm,
yeah, Bradley will start ahead of Trent. Trent may only play one game, I feel, out of the two games. This is my
mm,
personal feeling. So I believe that Klopp loves to have a full team because he's looking for the future, right? He's not only focusing on the five fixtures or this. He's looking Carabao Cup final. He's looking for Champions League and winning the Premier League in his first season in England. And I
mm,
think he will not want to risk Trent by playing him in both games.
mm. I guess
So
the
yeah,
important thing here is Wolves at home is the first game in the double, right? And that's the game we want Trent for. So if you think, I guess maybe if he comes on tonight as a substitute, maybe we
hmm,
can feel more comfortable.
exactly.
Uh, if he's not in the squad tonight, then it's
Then
a little
yeah,
tough. Yeah.
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 Um, yeah. If he's not involved in the squad, then you may definitely transfer him out
Yeah.
because then it's a clear indicator that he's not set to not even be available on the bench.
Mm,
So I don't think he will start against Wolves if he's not
mm,
even on the bench tonight. So yeah, look out for that. The game will start. So yes, uh, talking about the game, talking about football, talking about FPL, we have covered so many topics. We have covered
Yes.
FPL in whole. Any players you would want to recommend to us from any team, like for the next three, four fixtures, apart from
Mm,
Aston Villa? Yeah.
I think the most important thing is that you have an idea of what you want to do with game week 29.
Okay.
And if you are, it also obviously depends on the chips that you have left.
Yes.
So I think that it's difficult to recommend specific players because your chip strategy really dictates. So if you decide,
Yes.
you know what, if you have three Newcastle players, two Crystal Palace players, three Liverpool players, two Villa players on your team, well, you're probably going to want a free hit in
Hmm.
29, right? In that case, you can go for a Mateta as a you can get in Watkins for the double as an maybe a third Villa, something like this.
Yes.
If you are trying to um, avoid the free hit in 29, I think you be more conservative. And unless you really need to make a transfer, you try to roll and try to get to two, three, four transfers before 29
Okay.
in order to better navigate that, to be ready for injuries and things like this, to be able to get 10, 11 players out for 29. So,
Hmm.
yes. So, if you want a free hit, go for your Palace players, go for your Newcastle players, things like this. And yeah, I think you decide based on what you want to do in 29.
So it all depends on your chip strategy. Like decide in
Mhm.
advance what you want to do. Whether you want to free hit in 29, whether you want to wildcard right now, or whether you want to wildcard in 30, 31.
Mhm.
Ideally, you would want to dead end till 29 and wildcard in 30, 31 because we'll get more information about the upcoming double game weeks. And
Mhm.
after like game week 30 or game week 31, it will be more clear. And it will be amazing to see how the game unfolds because it gets very exciting in the end. And the last few game weeks will be very exciting. And hopefully, my best rank I remember was 32K. So I finished 32K, and yeah, let me charge. So yes, so 32K,
Oh,
and yeah,
32K, you can beat it. There's a lot of games left. You can
exactly.
definitely.
And yeah, right now my rank is 30K. So
Perfect.
I
End
can
the season now.
definitely.
Stop the season right now, and you'll be
So yeah, I am happy because I am leading finally in my league team. So
good.
in my mini league, I am number one right now. So I'm very happy about
Very
that.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think
yeah,
for the rest, I think from right now, patience is the name of the game.
yeah.
Learn more about the FA Cup before game week 29. We'll have a better idea of potential doubles and blanks, but patience, patience, patience. Try to if you want to attack the double game week for Aston Villa, I think that is fine. Nice
Yes.
game against Ipswich, get some points against Liverpool. Well, we'll see. But yeah, if you don't want to get a Villa player, I think I guess we haven't talked about Bournemouth
Yeah, I
midfielders.
know.
Great
Yes.
pick. You have Dango in your team. I think he's a
Hmm.
wonderful pick.
Hmm.
Uh, After this week, I will definitely be transferring Rogers out for a Bournemouth mid.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, Bournemouth and other than that, just yeah, patience, patience, patience.
Patience. So you have three Bournemouth midfielders, right? Clivert, Semenyo, and Dango.
Hmm.
I have Dango because I didn't have to take a hit on Dango. So the only reason I got Dango because of that. Otherwise, I would have opted for Semenyo.
Hmm.
So, in my opinion, out of the three, the most explosive is Semenyo. Like
Hmm.
whenever I just an eye test, maybe use a lot of stats too, but from an eye test, he looks like he will play a lot of minutes. Number
Hmm.
one, number two, he will take a lot of shots, and number three, whenever you take a lot of shots, sometimes you can also get an assist, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah, for
it's
FPL, yeah.
for FPL, yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, from an FPL point of view, Clivert is on penalties. Clivert has an those advantages because Clivert is a very good player.
Mm.
He is playing in a front two with Dango. Right now, they don't have strikers available. If I'm not wrong, like they have a lot of injuries, but still they are going very strong in the Premier League, and they're playing a very good system too. Like no one talks about their defense, right? They have a very good defender, a very good left back in Kirkes. He may be an option from FPL point of view, or if you want a cheaper option, you could target their centre back. So at 4.4, I'm forgetting his name. So he house in the longs.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, but yes,
Yes,
Hodgson Nathan. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, Hodgson, yeah, maybe you can opt for him because he looks a very good player and he will definitely start. He's centre back. He will definitely start. So some aerial threat, maybe he'll get a goal, maybe not, but yeah, some aerial threat, and you can look out for them. Bournemouth have amazing fixtures, and they will
Mm.
play in 29.
Yes,
So yes,
I think
we
it's a very. I would not be playing my wild card now. It's a very bad time for wild card. But if I
yeah.
was playing it, I would absolutely have three Bournemouth players, without a doubt. Yeah, brilliant team. I love watching them, and they have some great FPL picks, like you say.
Yes. So anything exciting for you apart from FPL this year, or any goals, or anything you want to talk about?
Uh, no, we've talked about a lot. I think that
Yes.
people ask my goals in FPL, and I always have the
Yeah.
same goal in FPL. That's to win FPL. I want to win. I want to be number one, and it will almost certainly never happen, but I will never give up hope. And so, yeah, I want to not make Thursday night transfers, and I want to finish number one. Those are my goals, and we'll keep it at that.
Exactly. And yeah, my goal is the same. This is my personal goal. I want to not number. I never had a goal of becoming number one, right? So my personal goal was only finish in the top 5K. So
Mm,
it has a dream. This is a dream of mine. I'll finally finish in the top 5K,
mm.
and maybe I'll one day, hopefully, finish that dream. And from a game point of view, I think hopefully tonight Liverpool win, and we have talked a lot, and I think it's time to
Should wrap it up.
wrap it up. And for those of you who don't know how to connect with you, do you want to talk about the place where you can connect with, or
Sure. So I'm not very active on
on Twitter,
Twitter,
on Inst?
but
Yeah,
Blue
yeah.
Sky would probably be the best place.
Okay,
Uh, so yeah, on Blue Sky, I am at FPL Gato. So that's FPL Gato. My uncle gave me the nickname of El Gato, which means the cat in Spanish. So he called me Matt the Cat, and then he changed it to El Gato because I speak Spanish. And so yeah, at FPL dot bsky dot social. That would be the best place, and I'd be happy to interact with anyone there.
okay. Thanks for sharing that, Matt. I will now stop the recording. So.